And we are live. Welcome to the process. It is Wednesday, November 22nd. I'm Josh Engleman. I am here to break down a 14-game NBA slate, which is incredibly annoying. Why not cut it off at 11? 11 games from 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock? Could you ask for a better situation? It would have been fantastic. And yet, here we are, not having that. If you haven't done it yet, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you know when everything goes live. Follow me on Twitter. What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? Not the best one yesterday. Happy with my ROIs. Happy with everything up until the Pacers news when they mixed up that starting lineup. What a ridiculous game. Did you guys watch the All-Star game last night? There wasn't a lick of defense played in that. They closed with Obi Toppin. So stupid. So stupid. Fun to watch, though. Whew. Fun to watch. Didn't need that Halliburton explosion in the third quarter. I didn't have him, so that didn't help. But what a game. What a game. These dudes couldn't miss. They were just slinging from everywhere. Defense was next level bad. Real bad. What are you going to do? It was fun. Hope you guys had a good slate. I did talk Isaiah Jackson into existence yesterday. That's always fun. Unfortunately lost on Prize Picks. Got the DeAndre Ayton part right, but Max Strus. What are you gonna do? I bet on LeVert not playing. I like that line, and the thought process was, it's still Max Strus. You can win if LeVert's not in, but if LeVert is in, it looks a lot worse. Oh well, what are you gonna do? It happens. We got 14 games to talk about. Why doesn't Jackson get more time? Because he's not that good. I think that one answers itself. 14 games. We're not really going to mess around too much here. It's hard to want to. We have to dig into so much today. It's nuts. The real crazy part is that they didn't close with Miles Turner. I can't, in my mind, I can't figure out how Miles Turner isn't on the floor for the end of that game. It makes no sense to me. Why are you closing with Obi Toppin? What's the goal there? What does Obi Toppin do that Miles Turner doesn't do? Miles Turner's better at offense and defense. I don't get that one. Oh god, stretching it out. I got something to talk about before we get started. I think everybody's going to be pumped for this. We shall see. I want to make sure I get this right. Where are we hiding here? All right, let's do it. I want to make sure that I get this right. Let me move a window around. I got a deal for you guys. You guys know what this week is. You guys know it's a fairly popular shopping holiday. So let me get it right now. I'm going to pop it up on the screen. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Boom. Black Friday. We got the Black Friday deal going on right now. Link in the description, I hope. If it's not in the description, that sucks for me because I won't get the credit. But use the promo code SIMS, 50% off your first payment, whatever you're getting, week or month. So if you've signed up with the Millie promo, don't think you're getting left out here. You're going to get emailed a code so that you can get that same 50% discount when it expires. So if you signed up for Millie, we're very happy that you did that. You are not getting left out in the cold by doing that. The promo code is SIMS, 50% off NBA or NFL, whichever SIMS package you are looking for. You can sign up and get it for half off for Black Friday. And that coupon code, if you signed up for Millie before, you'll get a 50% discount when that existing subscription expires, and that code will last you through December 31st. So we don't want you to think that you weren't getting a better deal if you did the Millie code. That one, we obviously weren't planning a Millie promotion. That one just kind of happened. So we don't want anybody to think that they're getting double dipped. Not bad though, right? 50% off Sims tool? Can't beat that. Brandon, no one in the world was ever like, we need somebody to guard Sadiq Bey. That's not a real thing. It's not a real thing. Maybe if you don't want to give up a bajillion points, you don't take off your only rim protector. Has anybody thought about that? Anyway, we are already further into this show than we should be without talking basketball, because we are going to be here 90 minutes probably. Kenny Wayne, it is live right now to my knowledge. The message that I'll tell you what I saw. We are starting a Black Friday sale tomorrow morning. That message came in to me last night at 8 o'clock. So the only thing that I could assume is that it is live right now. Jason and Chloe, yes, I did call overtime in Philly. I did. I talked both of those things into existence on the show yesterday. I need to shut up. I really do. I really, really do. Yeah, Jazz were like straight dookie. Wasn't good. But we got to get into it now. Here we go. First and foremost, let's do this. We got to bring it in big time. Am I blurry? A little bit. I look weird. That's not what I look like. It doesn't matter. Coffee, tea, water, beer, whatever you guys have. Breakfast foods. Remember, no process tomorrow. We got Thanksgiving stuff to deal with. I'll be up cooking. Let's get some coffee in our systems. Cheers, everybody. Rise and grind. Good to be here. Let's get it done. Clink. Yeah, that's it's not what I'm looking for. It's not what I'm looking for. All right, here we go. First game up, first team up. Washington Wizards, 4.5 point underdogs in Charlotte. 242 total. We are kicking it off with the game with the highest total on the slate. Now, we are going to cruise through this. We need to remember, most players aren't going to look that good. So we are going to zip through every bit of this. Yo, Dirty White Boy. Let me put that up on the screen. Came in 10th last night. Only put in 5 lineups. Got home from work at 6:58. Put together 5 lineups with the lineup generator before lock. And yeah, won 100K. So thank you, Stochastic. That's what we're looking for. That's what we're looking for. Good stuff, man. Congrats. Congrats. I didn't know Tony Anthony was in chat today, but nice to have you. All right. Washington. So basically, we are not going to dig into any rates at all unless we are forced to. Like if somebody big is out for a particular team, we are kind of just going to take whatever we've got in now, which is fine. Yeah, Willie, that's not surprising to me. Hey, if you're going to sign up, though, Willie, if the link is in the description, use it. If it's not in the description, I'm going to assume that it ends up in my contenders video. Use that link. Either way, I want to get that credit. But thanks for letting me know. I'm not surprised. I figured it'll go live in like the next hour or so. I tend to like beat people to the punch by doing the show at 6:30. So I'm not surprised that has not been activated yet. But it is live as of today. I think the process just starts a little too soon. So my bad on that one. All right, for the Wizards, we really don't have much to dig into here. DeLon Wright is still out. They don't really do anything too weird. You know, it's a pretty standard rotation. They're annoying. There's no denying that. I'm going to leave this as I have it. This is the same Washington rotation we got the last time out. interest. Yeah, no, this all looks good. And then on the Charlotte side, still no Terry Rozier, still no Nick Richards, still no Ntilikina, Cody Martin, James Bouknight. So this is also looking like the same rotation we've been getting. And we know that they had moved Miles Bridges into the starting lineup prior to the last game. Bridges then went out and played a crisp 45 minutes in regulation. So we're going to go ahead and bump him up. He's just playing regular 35 a night starter minutes. That's just where we're at. 45 minutes. I mean, like, I understand that was overtime. But, you know what happens when you subtract 5 from 45? Means you play 40. Insane. It's insane. So, we got big minutes out of Gordon Hayward. We got big minutes out of Brandon Miller, who played 35 minutes. They did not play JT Thor nearly as much. That's not all that surprising. That's like the guy you would expect to start losing that playing time. So I am just tweaking these minutes ever so slightly. But we're pretty much where we want to be. PJ Washington didn't start. Still got some run. Did he play in overtime? That's the only thing I actually don't know. Peach. Does Add More Funds really not show overtime? Or is that just my screen size? No, they don't show it. Well, that's unfortunate. PJ Washington, 28 minutes. So that's 6, 12, 18, 24. Probably didn't, best on what I can tell. So I am going to take 2 minutes away there from PJ Washington. I don't know where they go as of yet. I mean, Mark Williams is... Oh, God, I love Mark Williams, man. He might be like my new favorite player. Is 32 okay for Gordon Hayward? I could probably go to 33. I'll give that 4 minute back. Rates are all going to be the same. So game 1 in the books already. So as we look at it now, and we should like this game, obviously. There's a massive total. I think Brandon Miller, 5,300 shooting guard, small forward, stands out like in an aggressive way. Big fan there. He's gonna look good. Thank you, S&P, for that one. Popcorn Machine didn't have last night's games in, so I just switched to Add More Funds to make life easier, and then immediately didn't make my life easier. LaMelo, Mark Williams, Miles Bridges, all look good. And you just want to get to Charlotte because it's a 240 total against Washington, and Washington's really bad. You are prioritizing Brandon Miller, shooting guard, small forward, 5,300. You are also trying your best to get to LaMelo Ball, Mark Williams, and Miles Bridges. All 4 of those guys are going to be like nicely owned, even on a 14-game slate. Mark Williams won't get as much love as he should because we're going to have 40 centers. But Miller, Ball, Bridges, yeah, that's pretty tasty. On the Washington side, pretty much just Daniel Gafford for me. Why is Daniel Gafford 4,200? I mean, Daniel Gafford might be the best play on today's slate. I mean, we're talking about a guy that played 27.5 and 28.5 minutes the past 2 games. I only gave him 25, and he's still a 6x play. His price, why is his price dropping? Is DraftKings having a Black Friday sale? He was 5,300 in his last game. He was 5,300. He hasn't been 4,200 or below. He ended up that on February 26th. He's an incredible play today. That is downright dumb of a price. His price went down, and he had a good game. He was 7 of 13 from the field. He had a 5x game. I mean, that's just bonkers. That is true stupid stuff. Truly stupid. Anyway, game 1 in the books. Let's go to Denver and Orlando. Now, Orlando on the back-to-back. So we're just going to be using whatever we had from yesterday for Orlando. But for Denver, a little bit different, I guess. I mean, same Denver as usual, I'm guessing. Still no Jamal Murray. Zeke Naji is probable. Don't have a lot that we really need to make changes to here. You know, they've been bouncing around with Pickett and with Strother and with Peyton Watson. So let's move some minutes around here. $29 minutes for Reggie Jackson. I feel like I could almost go to 30. What's the average since Jamal went down? 29. Okay. 34 for Aaron Gordon. What's he averaging since Jamal went down? 36. All right, I'll give him the extra minute. 32 for MPJ. He has played 33. I'm going to give him the extra minute. All right, maybe just what we needed. Extra soft pricing on the 14 gamer. That won't be annoying at all. Yeah, I'm going to go out on a limb and say there's no revenge in Aaron Gordon's heart at this point. All of this looks good. We don't know the status of Orlando. I wouldn't be surprised if, like, Gary Harris didn't play. John Isaac probably doesn't play. I'm just going to take his 14 minutes right away and give him to Caleb Houston. He's the only piece. If you don't see Gary Harris playing, like, Anthony Black starts to look a little bit more interesting. I just burped in the middle of that. Sorry, guys. But yeah, I don't like same rotation as usual. So for Orlando, nobody for Orlando really looks that good. Like, Franz is fine at 6,600, but he's a much different play today at that price than he was yesterday at that price. So there's not really much here from Orlando that I say go out of your way to get it. Like, nothing here looks as good as the Charlotte side or Gafford. Like, way behind. For Denver, I mean, same situation, only maybe worse. Jokic at 12.5, MPJ at 6,900, small forward, power forward. That's about the extent of it for me. Aaron Gordon, 6,600 on FanDuel. That's not as bad, but there are no priorities here unless you think Nikola Jokic is a priority, which is a very reasonable stance to take. All right, we're 2 games in. We're moving. Brooklyn Nets taking on last night's here. Zeros, I guess, since they dropped the game. Taking on the Atlanta Hawks. 233 total. For Brooklyn, no Ben Simmons, no Cam Thomas, no DSJ. So let's get him out. It is pouring here right now. How long is that going to continue? Weather. Got to check the weather here. All I hear is rain outside my window. Okay. Expected to stop in 32 minutes. It's just aggressive rain outside right now. Got it. Ooh. Wow. So high of 70 today, and then it ends. It all ends tomorrow. High of 60, 60, 60, 60, 60, 50, 50, 50, 50. Next 10 days get cold for me. Anyway, let's go to Brooklyn. We got to get those minutes out of DSJ. He also did not play on the 19th. They ended up going to a little bit of Harry Giles. What happened in that game? Did somebody get destroyed? Brooklyn Nets, most recent game. Yep, they lost by 22 to Philly. Let's see here. So they didn't really go to anybody new. Harry Giles just played 6 minutes of blowout run. So they lost DSJ, but just kept the same rotation. That's something. Now, Trendon Watford is playing now, allegedly. Now, he closed, and he did play the blowout run, 6 minutes. But at the very least, I think we're projecting him for like 15. So they're playing some combination of Watford, Claxton, and Sharp alongside each other. Yeah, so they played Claxton and Watford alongside each other. Okay, good to know. Claxton for 28, I'll maintain. Sharp in for 17. Sure. We got 30 for Royce O'Neal. 28. We got 28 for Dorian Finney-Smith. Royce O'Neal closed the blowout run there and played 20 minutes? That's confusing. I don't like this Brooklyn team in any way, man. They are hard to project. We got Dorian Finney-Smith another minute. Cam Johnson played 28. Didn't end up finishing the closing run you would expect him to get. So I think 31 can stay. 35 for Bridges. 33 for Dinwiddie. Looks fine. I'm going to go 32. We got to bump up Lonnie Walker, which makes sense. We have plenty of time to do that. Walker played the entire fourth quarter. So even if we want to take 6 minutes off of him, we're going to go to like 24 here. And then I'm just going to hide 2 on Armani Brooks. Rates don't need to change. We'll go to Atlanta. Obviously, Atlanta on the back-to-back. We're going with the exact same rotation we got yesterday. They don't play anybody different. They don't play anybody new. Atlanta not closing with Capella and Okongwu was a thing. Okongwu wasn't very good, though. So, as we look at this game for Atlanta, look, I still like Trae Young at 9,200. He's just not the same play he was yesterday. Capella looks solid enough for 5,800. DeAndre Hunter for 4,700, although he was really bad yesterday. There are no priorities from Atlanta today. No priorities. Capella, Hunter, Trae Young are the 3 guys that I would want to get to the most. Jalen Johnson, 6,400, meh. Brooklyn. All right, Brooklyn, 5,900 for Clax. Look, let's just get this out of the way now. We're going to have 25 centers that look basically identical today. Unless you're going to a very specific, like Daniel Gafford is a crazy value, or, I'm going to play Joel Embiid or Nikola Jokic. Whoever you pick at center, it's not going to matter. It's the easiest place to get different today if you're not using one of like the pay-ups. Cam Johnson, 5,700 is fine. Power forward eligible. Probably have him a little over projected. What's his point sprout? I told myself I wouldn't look these up, but I want to see if I'm off by like 3 points there, then I will correct it. I don't think I will be. Where is this game? All right, there it is. Brooklyn points. Cam Johnson, 16.5 juice to the under. I got 17, and his rebounds prop is 4.5. So I'm like a minute too high on Cam Johnson. Just going to take that minute away, make my life a little bit easier. I don't want him to look crazy as a play. So, yeah, not much to like in Brooklyn and Atlanta. In terms of this is a guy you have to get to, because that's the barometer for today. The justification of like all of the standard 5X dudes, there's going to be 70 of them. So we can only dig in on the tippy top to start. And then we work on everything else here. So for Milwaukee, 5.5 point total. 5.5 point underdogs in Boston, 236 total. This is the highlight. We're finally getting the 2 juggernauts, Bucks less so, Boston for real. This is the game you want to watch. Of anything that exists on today's slate, Milwaukee-Boston is the game we want. Not to say that Philly, Minnesota isn't good. Golden State, Phoenix could have been good if Beal were healthy and Draymond were available. Dallas, Lakers, late night hammer. That's fun. But this is the game right here, Milwaukee, Boston. Now, for this one, Beauchamp, probable. Dame Lillard, probable. Jay Crowder, obviously still out. On the Boston side, everybody's available. So we do have to make small adjustments here. One, I got to get Beauchamp back in. Two, I'm going to have to change the Boston rotation because they had no White and no... Who else was out? Horford. It was Horford. So we get Beauchamp. Has not played for 3 games. Wow, he's been out for way longer than I thought he was. But we're just going to go ahead and get Andre Jackson back on out of there. And probably AJ Green. We're going to get Beauchamp in for 16 minutes. Only leaves me 8. That'll probably go to AJ Green. Rest of this looks fine. 27 to Connaughton feels like it can come down if Beauchamp is back. Middleton got up to 23 minutes, which means we can project him for 23 minutes. But now we got to fix Boston, which shouldn't be too bad. You know, we get all these minutes out to all these nerds, and we fill it in from there. Whoa. So we go 24 minutes to Horford. Honestly, if he's ever going to play more, it's probably today. That would be the day to do it, you know? We're going to say 37 for Tatum. 35 for Jaylen Brown. 35 for Drew Holiday. 32 for Kristaps Porzingis. We're going to go 33 to Derek White. And then the rest of this just sort of fills in itself. 15 to Pritchard. Hauser seems pretty well set at like 22. Leaves me 7. Wouldn't be surprised to see Cornette in this spot. Hadn't been in the rotation. They had been going 1, 2, 3, 4. Just straight 8 guys, but I don't think that. So that should all be good. I do need to look at points here just to see how much I need to adjust Boston rates, which I don't think I'm going to have to do. Tatum's at 28.5. I got 27.5. Jaylen Brown's at 22.5. Good. Porzingis is at 19.5, basically. I got 20. So I feel good about rates. But let's look at Boston. No priorities. I'm not surprised by that. It's the same sort of situation where I have Derek White like a half step behind Brown, Tatum, Holiday, and Porzingis. If I had to pick one guy from that group, it is Jaylen Brown. He's just got the best position. But I don't think you look at Boston and think, I got to have this guy. I don't think that exists. On Milwaukee, that's absolutely not the case. You're no to 11 for Giannis. No to $9,100 Dame. I think Milwaukee might just be like fully unrosterable outside of Dame and Giannis. And even then, I think you're going to prefer like all of the other pay up options. Great game to watch, though. Fantastic game to watch. Miami and Cleveland. Miami 2-point favorites in Cleveland, 212 total. This is the lowest total on the slate. Memphis, Houston's at 213. So think about this one. 212 for Miami, Cleveland. 242 for Washington and Charlotte. That's 30 real points. Without injuries, this will end up being pretty difficult to want to get to. As we look at Miami. Oh, we're at the top of the hour, 123 people. Hit that like button if you haven't done it yet. Bam is probable. Hero's still out. Kevin Love is out. This one won't be too bad. I'm going to assume we just get Thomas Bryant as the backup center with no Kevin Love. That seems like the easiest thing to do. Did I hit Brooklyn? Seems like I didn't. Yeah, no, I did. I remember doing that. So, I did. I did indeed hit Brooklyn. Caleb Martin finally got up to 20 minutes. That's interesting to see. Those minutes seem to be coming at the expense of Haywood Highsmith and not Jaime Jaquez. Jaquez seems to just be sticking around. So what we need to do is bump up Caleb Martin. I'm going to bump up Jaquez as well. 30 for Lowry. Yeah. 34 for Butler. 34 for Duncan. Yeah. 35 for Bam. All good. Can't imagine we're liking anything here. That's going to be surprising to me. Cleveland. They're on the back-to-back. We don't know anything. We don't know the status of Karis LeVert, which means we have to put Karis LeVert back in. So let's do that right away. We also don't know the status of Donovan Mitchell, but he's out, right? Like, Donovan Mitchell is just out. Because he was just out yesterday. He wasn't even potentially questionable. So we're gonna leave him out. We're gonna bring back Karis LeVert. We're gonna cut Tristan Thompson's minutes. Jared Allen good. Mobley good. Niang. I think Niang could probably just stay at 23, honestly. We're going to give Porter the backup point guard run. Honestly, I'm pretty well good with Strus at 36. Maybe it should be 35 if LeVert is back. I still have 29 minutes left over, so we need to get Dean Wade. What, 20-ish? And then Sam Merrill grabbing a little bit. Maybe. Yeah, we can hide him on Merrill. That'll play. That'll play. All right, Cleveland. Darius Garland's still 7,900. That is a price tag that I'm going to enjoy. He's a different guy with Mitchell gone. He just is. I wouldn't really play anybody else here. Like Jared Allen, add him to that center list. LeVert, no. Like Mobley, to me, no. I didn't like him yesterday. How did he do? Because I was very anti-Mobley yesterday. 39 fantasy points in 38 minutes. 1.02. Yeah, I'm very happy with that. That was a great fade. There's nothing here for Cleveland, nor should there be. Remember, total is 212. Miami, you're going there for value. Josh Richardson is 4K. Kyle Lowry is 4,700. Andrew Martinez. Porter is unplayable. Unplayable if Karis LeVert is in. Actually, no. Porter is unplayable regardless. He's 4,600 now. Greg Porter is off the table. Impossible to play today. Toronto and Indiana. 238 total here. We obviously know Indiana, slightly different team from yesterday. We actually have to reproject that rotation because I still have yesterday's assumption that like Mathurin and shit didn't start. For Toronto, no, they're also on the back-to-back, so we're not even looking at anything here. We are going to flip the Indiana rotation a little bit. So let's think about what they did, which is really hard to even look into. Like, they're not going to be closing with Obi Toppin basically ever. So, and then we also have to assume that Andrew Nembhard is just going to be back. So So I'm just going to get Nembhard back in for 19 minutes. We ended up getting 30 out of Healed. Mathurin only played 20. So let's move some of this around. Larry, don't be giving him credit for something that he wasn't calling then. Yeah, at least he knows. At least he knows. Whose minutes do I need to take here? How much did Tej play? 13? Yeah, that's okay. Turner not playing more was just next level weird. So weird. Oh, I got to cut Neesmith's minutes down. I was wondering why this looks so crazy. So I bumped those Neesmith minutes up yesterday when he was starting. Assuming he starts again, though, I mean, he has to be at least a little bit more interesting than Obi Toppin. It's hard to believe that, like, Obi Toppin is not going to play the final 17 and a half minutes. I don't expect him to close. And if Nembhard's back, like, I think it's just normal again. I hate this stupid Pacers team, other than the fact that they're fun. So let's look at this one. For Indiana, look, $5,200 Buddy Hield is shooting guard, small forward eligible. That's the guy you're going to if he's starting again. Because I think you could safely project him for 28 minutes or more. And at that point, he's going to be a fantasy point per minute guy. After that, you know, does Halliburton look good? Yeah. But he's going to look like all the other pay-ups. Miles Turner, fine, if you think that he could play 28 minutes. Only guy that you're really trying to get to is Buddy Hield, assuming he's in the starting lineup once again. On the Toronto side, I actually do like 8K Pascal Siakam, power forward center. Anunoby and Jakob Poeltl are both fine. You're not going to Scotty Barnes, not even close. There's really nothing here. Siakam would be my first guy. Poeltl and Anunoby are fine. I would not expect to have a single share of Scotty Barnes or Trent or Schroeder. I don't expect to have much here. Like 5,600 OG is fine. Just a lot of mediocre stuff. Siakam would be the key one. Because he can go power forward center at 8K, I think that looks pretty good. All right, let's save this file. Because we're already 6 games through. Like I said, there's not a lot of digging in that we can do on this slate. It's just so unnecessary because you're just not playing. Like, there's only so many guys you can play. Yeah, you would think he might go ahead and do that. He was a bust for a while, and then he picked it. He banged a couple of those threes in that late stretch. Where are we at next? Memphis, Houston. All right. Memphis Grizzlies are 5.5-point dogs in Houston, 213 total. None of this is going to look any good. I can almost guarantee that. Grizzlies, where are you in this? All right, so no Adams, Clark, Kennard, LaRavia, Morant, Smart, or Tillman. So no anybody, honestly. I'm just gonna pull the whole rotation just to make it easier to project these guys. Let me pull up their last game. Lost by 2 to the Celtics. Okay, so that was okay, I got this. So that's the 19th. So we know that right away we got to give Desmond Bane 35 minutes. And Dylan Brooks is going to be trying to clamp him, I'm sure. We're going to get Jaren in for 32. Is that Biyombo foul trouble? Yeah. Seems like we're going to get, what, 28, 29 minutes out of Biyombo? And then let's move those 19 to here. I guess we're going to get Conchar playing like 26 minutes. This is a pretty disgusting team. We're going to get Jacob Gilliard, I don't know, 14, 16. Do something like that. Santi Aldama played 39 minutes last time out, got the start. I think that is just happening here today. We're going to go 32. And then final starter. Oh, we got that in already. Okay. Zaire Williams played 24 minutes. That seems like it just kind of has to happen. Starting to run low on bodies. Big body David Roddy played 20 minutes. I think we can comfortably give him those 20 minutes again. Oh, we got to get D Rose out there too. He's going to be able to play, I don't know, 14 minutes, 16 minutes. Not much. $13 minutes left for some combination of Vince Williams or Lofton. I'm just going to give it to Lofton. Shout out Vince Williams. None of this is going to look any good, that's for sure. Let's look at Houston. And when I say look any good, I don't mean from a DFS standpoint. I just mean from like a, that's a guy I don't want to play standpoint. Now, on the Houston side, do they got anybody out? Just Amin Thompson. So we got 37 minutes of Van Vliet. He has now played 40 in 5 straight. So we're going to 38. No choice. Don't have a choice there. Have to do it. Tari Eason is back. Jock Landale is basically out of the rotation. Jeff Green is playing like 14 minutes a night. We'll get Tari Eason in for 18. 22 for Jayshawn Tate. Aaron Holiday played a little bit more. I didn't expect that. Maybe he's the guy I got to give more minutes to. 33 to Jalen Green. Make it 32. 31 to Dylan Brooks. That'll work. 30 to Smith. That'll work. I got 7 left over. I could bump Aaron Holiday up. Really surprised he's playing. Not much, but we'll get him up to 18. And I just need to hide 5 minutes. That's where Landale comes in. Şengün for 32. That feels about right. Let's see what we got. Sorry, I just got a text message. We were supposed to have our... we had a broken pipe while we were out of town. And I don't remember if I talked about it or not. So we're on a well, and our well water just smells like sulfur, like you wouldn't believe. So my house was just smelling like farts and like hard-boiled eggs. Really unfun. So that got fixed, but there was a lot of water in my crawl space. So crawl space guy was supposed to come out today. But as I mentioned before, it is pouring. And obviously, he doesn't want to crawl in the crawl space when it's pouring. And I cannot say I blame him. So I got a text message that said he wants to reschedule. Houston. 8,200 for Şengün, 7,700 for Van Vliet. They are the two guys that stand out. I will continue to be interested in Jalen Green at 6,300, but as SMP mentioned, hasn't been the best real life start for him, which is kind of a bummer. I haven't looked at his advanced stats yet. Minus 0.8 EPM on offense, minus 0.5 on defense, minus 1.4 overall, 53% true shooting. He's shooting 25.5% from mid-range. And somehow that's worse than the 39 from last year and 31 from his rookie year. That dude he gets into the mid-range and can't make a shot. Ryan, I'm not allowed to talk about water in Michigan on stochastic shows any longer. I've made that mistake once. We go to the Memphis side. Wow, I actually thought we were going to end up with like interesting value from Memphis, and we didn't. Santi Aldama's 6,100. He's, to me, already priced where he should be. Let me just look and see if I'm just wildly off with his props. If we have them. Aldama's at 16.5. Yeah, I'm a little light there. I guess I need to give Santi Aldama a little bit of a usage bump. Bump that up a little bit. I don't want to go too far. It's Santi Aldama after all. 19.5 to Triple J, 25 to Bane. Yeah, I'm feeling good there. I don't really like much in this game, guys. I really don't. But if I'm going anywhere, it's to Van Vliet and Şengün. All right, we are officially halfway done. It's 7:19. We're on a good pace. Yeah, really. Like, he should be one of the best guys at getting to the rim. Just stop doing the in-between one, and you're going to be fine. Biyombo shouldn't be starting. Who's going to start then? They're out of centers, man. They're missing the other four in front of them. All right, Philly. 5.5-point dogs in Minnesota, 218 total. Obviously, we know Philadelphia is on the back-to-back. On the Minnesota side, so Philly's rotation from yesterday is just going to be the Philly rotation. Let me just make sure that they didn't do anything weird. My boy Springer played a lot less. At the expense of no one. All right. Anyway, we go to the Minnesota side where it matters because Jaden McDaniels back out again. That does free up some interesting minutes. You know, we did see Jaden McDaniels not play a little bit earlier this season. I need to look at those games. So we missed the first two. In those games, got a little bit of a bump to Naz Reid. Nickeil Alexander-Walker's minutes take a little bit of a rise. It's possible you can get like Kyle Anderson to a bigger chunk of playing time. Like if Slow-Mo already averages 25, I think going to 26 makes some sense. I'm going to give an extra minute to Naz Reid. Nickeil Alexander-Walker ended up playing 33 minutes 2 nights ago. I need to look at that. So McDaniels gets hurt in the beginning of the first quarter. Nickeil Alexander-Walker comes in for him, starts the third quarter. I got to sneeze. Whew, got it. Starts the third quarter for McDaniels and closes the game. So I think we have to assume that Nickeil Alexander-Walker is starting. So I'm going to go to 29 for him. I don't want to go too crazy. And then I think we're going to get like Troy Brown Jr. stepping back in. Yep, he's the one that played. Cool. Good to see. I don't think I have any other minutes to move here, so I'm just going to give Troy Brown those 17. There's no chance he looks any good. Nah, you can't say 30 minutes plus, Brandon. They could just as easily go to Slow-Mo or Reed. Well, probably not Reed, but Slow-Mo. Got to be Slow-Mo, potentially. Yeah, like slow-mo got to 27.5 during the ejection game. I actually probably need to give an extra minute to Towns, if anything. Let's take Towns up to 35. And then we'll see what that looks like. All right, Minnesota. Okay. So here's the deal. It doesn't matter. If you're projecting Nickeil Alexander-Walker for 28 minutes, Minnesota or the DraftKings didn't get out in front of it. He's 3,700. This right here is your number one play of the day at this moment. Naz Reid is also 3,900 power forward center. He looks good. I like Gobert for 6,600. I like Minnesota in general here. Now, it's possible Towns like takes off because he's scared of Embiid or something. Wouldn't be surprised. I mean, Nickeil Alexander-Walker is unequivocally the best thing we've seen so far at 3,700. Not even close. Naz Reid, though, being sub 4K is wild. Anything you like, even at 26 minutes, Walker's going to look really good. That's the best play you're getting today. On the Philly end, nobody. You're not playing anybody from Philly unless you want to pay 11.5 for Joel Embiid. I would not expect to have a single share of a Philadelphia 76er. Sacramento Kings, 2-point favorites in New Orleans, 237 total. What do we know for this one? Duarte questionable, Keon Ellis out, Len still out, Keegan Murray questionable, Vezenkov questionable, Trey Lyles could be back, he's questionable. So we really need to cut out this rotation and figure out what we're doing. I'm going to say that Trey Lyles comes back, plays the backup 4 run behind Keegan. We continue to get 13 minutes behind JaVale. Now, if Keegan Murray ends up out, and like that starts to look really wild. Herter and Monk's minutes both look fine to me. 30 for Harry B. Barnacle of the Bay. I got 26 minutes left over. We're going to give 12 of them to Davion Mitchell. Backup point guard run. And then whether it's Duarte or Vezenkov, it's going to be one of them. We just don't have any other changes to make for this team. I guess I should probably bring Keegan Murray's minutes down a hair too. Not going to be looking at much from Sacramento either way. On the Pels side, still no CJ. Larry Nance questionable. No Matt Ryan. But it looks like we're getting Nance back. Potentially, at least. So as we make that adjustment, bring Nance back into the rotation. He has missed the previous 4 games. Prior to that, he had been playing about 16 minutes a night. $33 for Zion, 22 for Najee Marshall. Yeah, I don't really have any other changes for these guys either. On the Pels, I will continue to think Brandon Ingram and Zion are both fine plays. 7K Joval is at least worth a consideration. Otherwise, you're not really playing anything else from New Orleans with a priority. And then from Sacramento, look, if Keegan Murray plays, 5,800 isn't a bad price. Fox for 9,400 isn't a bad price. Can't imagine wanting to pay for Sabonis. Just not standing out. You're going to see when we run crunches, all of the real names are going to be like nowhere to be found, and it's just going to be Daniel Gafford and Nickeil Alexander-Walker and the dudes from Charlotte. Okay. Next game, Chicago and OKC. Ugh. Billy Donovan revenge narrative. I'm sure he would like to be back for Oklahoma City, given the fact that they are really good and that Chet Holmgren is that dude right now. All right, for Chicago. Caruso probable, Levine probable, Patrick Williams probable. So standard Chicago, I guess. Not much to really dig into here. They don't really move their rotation around all that much. This is about as set in stone as things get. I think we look pretty good here. And then we go to the OKC side. Only Jalen Williams is out, but that is obviously a big, big deal. He missed their most recent game on the 19th. I hate it, obviously. I'm a big Jalen Williams fan. I'm a big this team fan. So let's take a look at what this rotation looked like. This most recent time out. OKC and Portland on the 19th. Didn't need Jalen Williams, that's for sure. So Cason Wallace got the start. And they don't have any problem like closing with that dude or anything. They didn't have to in this case, but they could close with Cason Wallace. I don't think they have to, but they could. So I think we bump him up immediately to like 28 minutes. Now he's been really bad on a per minute basis. Who else did we end up seeing? Isaiah Joe kind of played his standard run. I am going to give him an extra minute. He's the type of guy that could just like step in and close. Shea looks good at 36. Trey Mann played 23 and a half minutes, but a lot of that was blowout run. Although he did step in and play legit minutes prior to the closing run. Bertan's got a run too. I think we got to go to like 12, 14 minutes on Trey Mann. Micic didn't play. Wiggins was late to the game. I'll hide some minutes on Bertans again. Kenrich only played one rotation. I got 29 for Dort. I assume this is good for Giddey. No, he still did. I mean, if I add in that second quarter rotation again, that's 7 minutes. That takes him to 29. I'll take him to 29. Jalen Williams with a Y was the first guy off the bench. He played a lot more. I'm going to bump him up to 14, and then I'll hide another 6 minutes on Micic. Because, again, OKC, you're really only worried about the guys that get a ton of minutes. Brandon, we got to think that he might be getting more time, though, with Cam Reddish getting hurt. Reddish got hurt last night, and Christie started over him in the second half. Not saying I know anything about what that rotation is going to look like, but they did have an action item coming out of the game. I haven't looked at anything, just saying, like, I do know Reddish got hurt. So it is possible for them to look a little bit different. Just in case you hadn't seen it. All right, for OKC. Look, $9,700 Shea. It will surprise me greatly if he is not the most popular pay-up option. For obvious reasons. He's sub 10K. I think you can entertain a $4,100 Cason Wallace. I believe I'm going to need to cut his usage rate even more than what I see, though. So if we look at OKC on the season, Cason Wallace has an 11% usage rate. So just going to take that down to 12. That makes him be a value play, but nothing crazy. Chet for 7,500 is all right, but Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is the unequivocal top pay-up option that I've seen so far. As we look at Chicago, I can't imagine anything looks good. Although, if they discounted the Bulls the way they've discounted some of these other guys, they kind of did. Levine's all right at 7,300. Vooch is all right at 7,400. DeRozan's all right at 7,100. Be my guest trying to figure out which one of those three are the guy you get today. Clippers. You know what? We got 173 people in here. I want to do this one more time. Boom. Black Friday sale. 50% off your first payment for whichever Sims package you choose. This may be active at this moment right now, but it is active starting today. There are links in the description, or should be. Promo code is SIMS, S-I-M-S. You get 50% off. If you did the Millie promo, you're not getting left out for this one. You will get a coupon code in your email that will allow you to do this once your Millie promo ends. That one popped up out of nowhere. We didn't know Short Gamer TV was going to ship the Millie, but we still had this Black Friday deal planned. So if you took advantage of Millie, we're not boxing you out by not getting this. You will get a promo code because of it. Sign up, 50% off, link in the description. Promo code is SIMS. All right. Clippers. Clippers are 8.5-point favorites in San Antonio, 230 total. How do we want to do this? Russell Westbrook ended up playing 25 minutes. It's good to see. Terrence Mann continues to be a guy that I really just don't enjoy because I play him and he doesn't do well. Tice played a little bit more than I was expecting. That happened. I don't really think we're digging too much into the minutes on Harden or George or Leonard or anything. Do we have any news, actually? I guess I should look at that. No, we don't. Devin Vassell is questionable on the San Antonio side. That is a complicating factor. So let's find out what we do for San Antonio. First and foremost, we get Devin Vassell back in for 31 minutes. Starter run. That's easy. McDermott can stay with his minutes. Chetty's minutes can come back down. Mamu can simply leave the rotation. Charles Bassey can stay. 24 for Trey Jones. We'll go 23. We'll bring Malachi Branham. We'll leave him at 20. Julian Champagnie, probably done here. Probably going to be all right with whatever we have in right now. Do need to take a look at San Antonio rates just quickly. For the Spurs, what is Devin Vassell's usage rate on the season? Vassell, 22% usage rate. Keldon's at 21.5. Wemby is at 30. So I think we're good. For the Spurs, nobody stands out. Don't hate the idea of going to Wemby at 8,100. He's just going to look like a lot of other dudes. But there are no priorities for San Antonio, which shouldn't really be that surprising, especially with Vassell back. Clippers side, equally as uninteresting. Probably won't play anybody from this game. Brandon, 20 points from Max Christie on a 14-game slate is not at all what you want. That's a bad score. It's 30 minimum. It's 30 minimum. Golden State Warriors. 2.5-point dogs in Phoenix. 233 total. Warriors are obviously still without Draymond Green. Gary Payton questionable. He didn't play the last time out. I got to get his minutes back in there. It really doesn't depend on the contest. If a 20-point score on a flat 3K guy on a 14 gamer is worthwhile, everything went wrong today. That's just not enough. There's too many options. A 7x score at 3K is putting you behind the 8 ball. All right, Pajemski's minutes need to come down. Paul's good. Moses Moody's minutes need to come down. Kuminga looks fine. Kevon Looney looks fine. Saric, fine. Where the hell do I find those Gary Payton minutes? Where do I find those Gary Payton minutes? Where am I going to find more Gary Payton minutes? I guess it's Moody and Pajemski. Something like that. Phoenix, probably not much to talk about here. They are on the back-to-back. We don't have their stuff. So all we can really do is assume that whatever happened yesterday happens again today. It was a real start there at a Nurk. I'll bump him up a minute. Take one off of Eubanks. 34 for Book, 36 for Durant. I don't really see much here that we're making changes to. Grayson Allen and Eric Gordon both played a little bit more than I would have expected, but we should be fine here. $6,500 Nurk is fine. I don't see any scenario where you're going to a 10 for Durant. Yeah, I mean, Brandon, at that point, I completely don't want Max Christie at 3K. Cheated. It certainly matters where it comes from. It 100% matters where it comes from. Because you're not just going 7x. If you're not including some sort of constant in that equation, you are overvaluing cheap players and undervaluing the top players. There are roster constraints. You only have 8 spots. So consolidation of talent it's no different than an NBA team. There's a reason that NBA teams want stars. And you hope at the bottom. It 100% matters. It couldn't matter more, honestly. If you knew that a 9K guy scored 7x and a 3K guy scored 7x, 100% of the time you take the 9K guy. It's not close. You're not really playing Phoenix. They actually look bad. Golden State. $5,800 Clay, but he sucks. Steph works for 9,300, but it's just like there's no way to justify Steph over Shea. If you think Wiggins is going to be a real person moving forward, that could be interesting, but there's nothing here. 2 games to go. Jazz and Portland. Now, both sides of this game are on a back-to-back. So I am taking the exact Utah rotation that we got from yesterday, and I am taking the exact Portland rotation that we got from yesterday. However, I am taking Malcolm Brogdon out. There's no chance Malcolm Brogdon is playing a back-to-back, right? I think that's a safe bet. There's no way that's happening. So I think we bump Skylar Maines back up to like 26 minutes. It depends how big the slate is, Cheetah. If you get 21 at a guy at flat min and it's a 3-gamer, you are in a much different situation than you are if it's a 14-gamer. But the problem that you're looking at is that you're not including a constant in your value equation. What you really should be looking at is like 5x plus 15 or 5x, somewhere in that neighborhood for something like today. And by adding on the constant, it makes it so that a cheap guy at 3K needs to be like 10x, and you don't have to see this. Let's do this. So I can't help myself. I don't have time for this, but it's happening anyway. So if we do this, so 7x would be 21 fantasy points at 3K. As you're working your way up, it's very linear. But what you're really looking for on a day like today is probably like a 5x plus, let's say 5x plus 15. I think that would be probably a little bit better of an equation. So if we do this, now we're seeing what you're really looking for. And what the value equation ends up doing you see how it scales. So let me try to outline this for everybody. So there we go. So instead of just having everybody at a straight 7x, if you apply a constant to everyone, that 3K guy needs a 10x score. This is for Brandon. This is for everybody. The 3K guy needs a 10x score, but the 9K guy doesn't. Then you start looking at, somewhere in that mid sixes range when you start looking at the pay up options. That you don't need the same value equation at the top. Raw points are still the goal here. You want to get all of the 10x, like 3K guys you get, that's great. You're going to get destroyed. You have to convert it here somewhere. So this is the value equation that you're looking for to a degree. Now, this value equation is slate dependent. The bigger the slate, the difference in constant that you're looking for to a degree. And you can see that at Stochastic. We scale our boom bust tool based on slate size. But you can't just look at straight value like that. It breaks down. We're looking at Portland and Utah. Did I finish projecting Portland? Sure didn't. Stopped in the middle of it all. Thibel's minutes can go up. Kamara looks fine. Shaden Sharp looks fine. Reith looks fine. Jabari Walker looks fine. Where were all those minutes going when Brogdon was out? Am I missing somebody? I might actually have to go a little bit. I'm going to go 28 to Mays. When Brogdon was out, Mays averaged 29 minutes. I'm going to go to that 29. I think I'm okay with 36 for Sharp and 36 for Grant, 32 for Ayton, 20 for Jabari Walker, 14 for Reith, 25 for Kamara. I mean, his minutes were everywhere. 25 works. So then that leaves me... Yeah, Thibault for 23 is fine. So now we're just throwing them to everybody else. That could be... Reith is in. I guess we're going to go like Booyah and Murray. We won't even know if he's around. This isn't going to matter all that much. Brogdon played 25 minutes last night. Look, if you're playing anybody from Portland, it's DeAndre Ayton, it's Jeremy Grant, or it's Shaden Sharp. And I think the most likely scenario is that you're not really playing any of these guys. And then on Utah, nobody looks good. Final game, Dallas and the Lakers. Dallas, 1.5-point favorites against the Lakers, 236 total. Q tag on Seth Curry, Maxi Kleber still out. We don't have the Lakers rotation, but we are going to probably have to take Cam Reddish out. So for Dallas, I'm guessing we're not really making any major changes here other than, Seth Curry doesn't necessarily have to play. Jaden Hardy back, so I'm just going to throw the Seth Curry minutes onto Hardy. We got 34 for Kyrie. We've got 35 for Luka. 25 for Lively. 30 for Grant Williams. 28 for Hardaway. Not much else here, as far as I'm concerned. Derek Jones Jr.'s minutes, I guess, could come down a little bit. For the Lakers, though, I have to assume Cam Reddish isn't going to play today, right? The question then becomes, do they move Austin Reeves back into the starting lineup? That's the question. We're going to take Reddish out. Yeah, I think we just get... I think we're going to get Reeves like normal, back to, 32 minutes a night or so. Feels like a spot now where D'Angelo Russell's minutes are a little bit more locked in. We ended up getting 28 out of Rui, 30 out of Prince. I'm going to bump up Rui a little bit. I'm going to bump up Prince a little bit more. That leaves me 21 for Max Christie. I don't want to go that crazy. We'll go 19, add 2 more to Jackson Hayes. Oh, Christian Wood got a little bit more run too. Let's do something like that. 5,600 for Reeves, shooting guard, small forward. I think he's the guy that you really want to roll the dice on. By all means, play AD or LeBron. I don't really see a path where you can justify Max Christie. Yeah, I don't think they're going to be able to justify that at all. It's AD, Reeves, Russell, and LeBron. I would not be playing anybody else. You're not going to need Rui or Prince. On the Dallas end, it's only Kyrie and Luka, and even then, they don't look great. Let's run crunches. Thank you guys for being here. 210 people in the door. I'm going for an hour 20. We actually moved through this one way better than I expected to, but on a slate this size, you really just can't dig in too much. There's not a place to... You'll paralyze yourself in data on a slate of this size. I'm expecting Brandon Miller and Nickeil Alexander-Walker to be the two, pseudo locks for today. Let's see what it looks like, though. Let's stop that screen share. Pop on the cruncher. And then 50 lineups, no randomness. What do we got on DraftKings? 278.6. That is the winning lineup by 0.4. LaMelo Ball, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Brandon Miller, Naz Reid, Daniel Gafford, Fred VanVleet, Buddy Hield, Shea. I mean, that lineup, I think a lot of people from watching this show would have landed on most of that lineup. Brandon Miller was in all 50 lineups. Nickeil Alexander-Walker was in 49, I believe. Gafford was in 47. Naz Reid in 39. Shea was in 72%. That's where the line gets drawn. Then you're getting to Mark Williams, LaMelo, Van Vliet, Siakam, Garland, Hield, Miles Bridges. All of that makes a ton of sense for what we saw. Now, when we throw on randomness, this is where everything flattens out. You're going to see a couple guys a little bit more at the top, and then everybody in the same bucket. There it is. Nickeil Alexander-Walker and Brandon Miller pull away. 50% for Walker, something like that. 48% to Walker, 37% to Brandon Miller, 33% to Naz Reid. Gafford goes to 27%, and then everybody else just flattens out, 18 or less. You get a little bit of value from Bridges and Hield, Aldama, but after that, you can kind of just do whatever you want. But Nickeil Alexander-Walker and Brandon Miller, if anybody tells you at this moment that they aren't the two best plays on the slate, they are incorrect. Now we go to the FanDuel side. FanDuel is going to look way different. Positions change everything on FanDuel. It's such a different build structure. Optimals. 310.9. Optimal lineup by 0.32. Harden, LaMelo, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Buddy Hield, Jeremy Grant, Brandon Miller, Andrew Wiggins, Siakam, and Vooch. Nothing crazy to me there. Very balanced build. You know, Nickeil Alexander-Walker at 4,200 is the low man, but like he's really not a $4,200 guy for today. Highest salary guy is LaMelo at 9,900, which is very easy to go balanced. Buddy Hield ended up in all 50. Nickeil Alexander-Walker ended up in 49. Siakam and LaMelo were both in 47. Then you really start dropping it down. Now, as we add the rando to it, we get thanks, S&P. Top-notch statistic. Brandon, you mean both Alexanders. Both Alexanders in lineups today. Buddy Hield, number one dude on FanDuel, assuming that he is still in that starting lineup. Then you get to Nickeil Alexander-Walker, and then it flattens. To me, you didn't retract it. In my streaming software, it just stays there. Not a lot on FanDuel that's separating other than Hield and Walker. And if Hield doesn't start, then he doesn't separate. Walker will. And if Walker doesn't start, well, then we don't have anything. But we're going to get a ton of news throughout the day. So many teams on back-to-backs. At 1:30, we're going to get an injury report that's probably pretty staggering. That's all we got, though, folks. Process is done. Guys, enjoy your Thanksgiving. I hope you guys have a great day tomorrow. Enjoy it. I will. I know that for sure. And then we'll be back Friday morning to do this one again. Enjoy the holiday. Sign up for the Sims Black Friday deal. Again, promo code is SIMS. Links in the description. This was The Process.